future. We did have a couple questions. Should I throw my copy of Finding and Working with Lawyers on the web? Can we receive a copy of the slides? So what we're going to do, can we do this? Yeah. We're going to it'll be posted to our site, and you'll be able to, at YouTube, and you'll be able to get this presentation, including the audio file that goes along with it. Who was interviewed to obtain the research data?
We talked to 102 buyers in companies all around the country, just in the U.S. This wasn't international. And we showed you the breakdown of the size of companies, and it was in a variety of industries.
Another question, do you find people shopping for attorneys are looking for more personal injury firms or other types of legal services? That is, I suspect the question means, would we be looking for individual services like divorce, matrimonial services, et cetera, or personal tax services? This survey really was addressing professional buyers, business-to-business buyers. So while we may suspect that many people are online looking for personal injury lawyers, that this was not what this survey is about. However, I will tell you that depending on the demographic, certain demographics we know among the poorer Americans, for example, are much less likely to search on the internet. That would seem logical. But much less likely to search on the internet for personal injury lawyers. So once again, all of these things depends upon the demographic, and that's not just age, but socioeconomic and also geographic where they live. We had a question in our audience here.
Quick question: when you had the number 18% for the people who pay attention to web banner, web ad, was it even one of the questions 10 years ago?
The question was when we indicated that how many was 18% paid attention to web banners. Did we have that question 10 years ago? We don't have a clue. So that's an honest answer. We'll get back to you and let people know about that. Yeah. That's a great question. If a firm has to revamp their website and their print material, which one should they do first? It's interesting that it used to be that we would have print be the driver of a website 10 years ago. Now, today, certainly the website is the driver of the print solution, so the online now drives offline in a curious and ironic twist. So because the website is the first tangible impression that people have of you, as we mentioned earlier, we're much more likely to recommend get your website act in gear before you, because you're going to have so many more people visiting that space than you'll find catching you in print. Yes?
Obviously, behaviors online have been changing, but what cultural shift is taking is marketing side has been offered for professionals.
So we're looking for what cultural shifts may have occurred within the past 10 years within professional service firms. I think that one of the, I often say that when I first started out in this business, the average age of the managing partner was about 125 years old, and now the average age is about 45 or 50 years old. So you're looking at a dramatic shift and a change in really the age of the individuals that are making decisions, that are running these organizations too, and that change has to be reflected in the age of those people that are their buyers as well. So you're looking at, I believe, a substantially younger demographic, which means a more open, well, doesn't have to mean this, but one of the things that's occurred over the past 20 years is that buyers are becoming a lot more demanding of their service professionals, and as a result, the service professionals have responded by being more open to feedback, more open to collaborative work, and so that's a cultural shift as well within those organizations. So here, I know you're going to talk about SEO next week. Is that an ongoing monthly expense that a firm can expect to occur? Yes, and then yes, and then yes. And you should expect to invest in this. In fact, the single most important expense beyond your website and your collateral materials is search engine optimization. You really need to make that a cornerstone of your web presence, but then it expands further beyond that to social media as well as search engine management. How can we figure out what terms, keyword phrases professionals are searching for so that we can optimize for them? Whoa, that's a big next week, 2 weeks, we're going to talk about that. So come back and we'll give you the strategy for doing that. That is no slam dunk, and it is nothing to answer in just 1 or 2 phrases. It's pretty complicated, and it's much more complicated than people imagine. In fact, when we find that people say, oh yeah, we've got an AdWords program, and that we're buying a Google AdWords ourselves, we're often dismayed to hear that, not because we don't have the assignment, but because when we look at what's being done, about 1/10 of what's possible is being done. For example, you can turn on and off your AdWords during the day. You can run them up to an event and go heavy with the AdWords prior to the event, go light it following, et cetera. There are so many things that you can do in terms of flighting and placement that are completely impossible in print media that you can do now. Well, great. We've run a little bit over our hour. If there are any other questions, please keep sending them in, and we'll try to get them back to you. We've got the presentation will be available online at YouTube, and we hope to hear you next week and the week following that as well. Thanks so much.